and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, to the session on point of the schools of jurisprudence. Now the question may arise before us, who are the expounder or the promoters of those schools of jurisprudence, and what is the effect of those very schools of jurisprudence? That is the main theme. So in this session, we have to discuss, now we have to actually discuss regarding the schools of jurisprudence. So it is very much easy for you to understand. Oh my God, we're watching this video. No one is watching this video. Only one is with me. Okay, only one is watching this video. Okay, let's move. In this session, we have to actually discuss in terms of the schools of jurisprudence. Okay, let's have a look here. Only one. Oh my God, no one is watching this video. No one. So this is very much champa the whole nation. We have no power, and there is no promoter to promote this schools of jurisprudence. Now let's move towards the schools of jurisprudence. There are several schools of jurisprudence. First of all, this is the analytical school, and then the historical school, and then the philosophical schools of jurisprudence, then after sociological school, and then the realist school, and last that the economic schools from the side of the promoter of 3 zeros, Mr. Dr. Yunus. So the analytical schools, so who are the expounders of the three schools? This is the thematic approach, and this is the main theme of that very concept. The expounders of that very schools are Sir John Austin, who prescribed in earlier, Mr. Law is the command of sovereign. Oh my God. Not only that, Sir John Austin and Jeremy Bentham, William Markby and Holland are the expounders of that very school. So what is the main theme of that very school? It is quite clear to us. This is the law as it is, not ought to be. There is a distinction in terms of the what exactly the what is just and fair. For example, this is very much distinguished, made between the two analytical and philosophical schools of jurisprudence, proportionally to that. So, law as it is, not ought to be. This is the main theme of the schools of, but exactly the analytical schools of jurisprudence. And command and sovereign, and last but not least, that the punishment. So what exactly the punishment? Punishment is a sanction such as fine, penalty, loss of property, assist against a person who has violated the law. This is treated as punishment. And this is the thematic approach from the side of the analytical schools of jurisprudence. Then after historical school, unfortunately, we have to actually discuss earlier the historical aspect, but we have forgotten that to illustrate that between the two, no matter how whatsoever. Now this is the turn from the side of the historical school of jurisprudence. Savigny and Montesquieu, not only the Sir Henry Mans, Judge Frederick Foster are the main expounders, or the proponents of that very schools. So what is actually the main theme of that very schools. This is totally known to you, and you have all know in this regard. For example, the history prescribes that the historical schools, and not only that, the tradition represents the historical schools and the customs. What exactly the customs? Earlier we have studied much more on point of the collector of Madura versus Mathuram Lingo. This is the landmark decision in terms of customs. In tracking the customs, a clear proof of uses will outweigh the written text of law. This is the ratio decided from the side of the collector of Madura versus Mathuram Lingo. Not only that, this is the ethical, but exactly the free will of the people. Which will be the practicing power from the side of the free will of the people. This is treated as the philosophical schools of jurisprudence. But unfortunately, ethical and moral, this is not found in historical school. Like this is the custom, habits, and religion. Yes, this is the religion is the appium, according to Mr. What exactly the William Shakespeare. Oh my God. And then I will discuss in terms of the philosophical schools of jurisprudence. Well, only one is watching this video. This is Sam for the whole nation. No one is able to comprehend what actually delivering process from the side of law doctor towards the nations. To enlighten the society, this is the attempt from the side of the law doctor to you. Okay, no problem. This is the turn of philosophical school of jurisprudence. Hugo Grotius and Francis Bacon, this is Thomas Hobbes, Locke, Blackstone, Grotius, Immanuel Kant, and not only John Locke are the main expounder. This is the proponents of that very school. So what is the main theme of that very school? It is quite clear to you that the just, which is just and fair and reasonable and free will of the people is being practiced. This is treated as the philosophical schools of jurisprudence and ethical and moral. But this is actually not being practiced in our country. And every state does not follow the instruction of the philosophical schools of jurisprudence. But some of the, there are several states which are practicing by the name of their mouth, nothing else. This is the documentary values will be given towards the society in the human civilization. Oh my God. So the just and fair, reasonable thing is not being practiced in the whole world. But this is totally the documentary evidence, writings, and through this process, we are not the followers of that very what exactly that the expression which will be discussed from the side of the philosophical schools of jurisprudence, dears. Then I would like to discuss sociological schools of jurisprudence. What is the meaning of sociological schools of jurisprudence? This is the society. So society is a global village according to Marshall McLuhan. Oh my God. And you of all know in this regard. This is the social village and social, this is the global village. According to Marshall McLuhan, sociological school prescribes that the religion and customs, and not only that the manners and commerce in the society and the occupation of the human being, and not only that the customs is in this situation, and not only that the sociological expounders of that very school is that the Rudolf von Jhering, and not only that, the Montesquieu, Auguste Comte, I. Herring, and Herbert Spencer, and Leon Tiguet, and Roscoe Pound, who prescribe that the advocates are the social engineers in our society, who are actually the expounders or the proponents of that very schools. Okay, and then the realistic school. What is reality? And every time I have most of the times I have focused in terms of the duality in live video class and what is in the online and offline dunya. This is well known to you that the reality means a true sense which is existed in life. This is totally the realist theory. So realist school of jurisprudence. So what actually the expounders or proponents of that very realist school? It is quite clear to you. This is the Holmes and just John Gray, this is the Jeremy Frank, So Llewellyn and those are the expounders of that very schools. So what is the main theme of that very school? It is the main question from the side of the other students in our society. Thinking of judges, actually they are thinking and tracking. This is the 151. This is the section, the inherent power of the civil code. All the codes have the jurisdiction in terms of the inherent power, and this is being practiced in several times in lawmaking power and exercising judicial review and to give the judgment and degree before the court of law. This is being practiced under section 151 in the CPC 1928. And not only that, 5618, this is the section which deals in this regard. This is the inherent power of the court according to the Abu Sama versus State. This is the landmark decision. So realist school prescribe the thinking of judges. According to jurisprudential view, that the judges are not allowed to make laws, just they declare the laws. As we know, this is the common law country, which is practicing common law. The president, this is the thinking of the judges. And not only that, the lawyer scenario, how far is felt. Actually, how far is felt. This is the media. This is the real scenario of the codes, bar and bans. This is the interrelation between the bar and bans. So realist schools prescribe in this regard. Not only that, the last but not least, economic schools of jurisprudence. You have here the name of the proponent of the 3 zeros, Mr. Dr. Yunus. And not only that, so the Karl Marx, who wrote the book, The Das Kapital, which is prescribing made in terms of economic skills. And the disciple of Karl Marx is Friedrich Engel, who is practicing these schools of jurisprudence, economic status of the state. So what is the economic status of the state? For example, Bangladesh. This is the core point from the side of Dr. Tio. The economic condition of a country is in marginal area. This is very much, poor in nature. This is very much vague idea. An economic status of the state and the people are very much, poor in nature. This is totally, ignored from the side of the owner of the square, Florix and Bushundara. So this is being practiced in our country. And Dr. Yunus, Mr. Dr. Yunus is in power in interim government. So who is the founder in terms of the economic schools of jurisprudence? Maybe economic schools of jurisprudence. And not only that, the philosophical school, now it is the trend from the side of the Dr. to you that what actually the meaning of philosophical school, that is totally what is comprehensible before the audience in the online dunya. So the philosophical school focuses much more in the history theory of the natural law. So what exactly the natural justice from the side of the Maneka Gandhi versus Indian All Indian Report 1978, maybe September 509, but exactly the 97. This is the page number and the landmark decision in terms of the natural justice. So this is the landmark decision. Likely business. So who called me? I don't know. This is the likely business. So what exactly the likely business? I don't know. This is the high time we discuss in terms of this situation. I'm in live class. So you can't actually call me in such a way, Mr. Likely business. We have no net to express in terms of the business deal. In this situation, likely business call. Oh my God. Okay, Mr. Mahmoud, what exactly the advocate Muhammadullah will prescribe in this regard? No problem. How I saw you heard that? Oh my God. So the philosophical school prescribe in this regard. Oh my God. Okay. Philosophical aspect prescribe that the theory of natural justice, the natural law. This is school seeks to find out the reason why the law is enacted and what are the effects of such a law in our society. And they believe that the purpose of law is to enhance the nobility of humanity. The philosophical school is not concerned with the analytical and the historical aspect of law. This is the mathematical approach, philosophical just and fair. So no one is practicing the just and fair in our society. This is not the reasonable situation. How I say, you are the Chief Justice, you are the Prime Ministers, and you are the Dr. Yunus. You are not the expounder to practice like this. The just and fair and reasonable and free will of the people will be practiced in our society. And there is no ethical and moral aspect in this regard. That the philosophical school, this is the thematic approach from the side of the philosophical aspect. Oh my God. You are the Feresta, but you are not allowed to practice in such a way. This is the just and fair and reasonable in nature, and the free will of the people is not being practiced in our country. And not only that, not only in our country, but also whole countries of the world, they are not practicing at all the philosophical aspect. Oh my God. So analytical school prescribe that this is the real picture. Of course, this is the real picture in the whole world. Like this, the analytical school in the administration of justice is being practiced. For example, this is the analytical school is much more focused on the theory of imperative law. Oh my God, what exactly the imperative law to command something? This is the punishment which will be immersed from the side of the others. How can actually discuss in terms of the analytical schools of jurisprudence? This is the vague idea in our society. So this is the age of heroism, and that's why we are not allowed to comprehend what is the delivering process exactly from the side of the law doctor towards the world, not in Bangladesh especially. So analytical school is much more focused on the theory of imperative law. And analytical school is related the origin of civil law. So civil law is originated in France, and not only that's the common law is the originated. This is the originated is in UK, maybe UK. Is the common law which is practicing with the code of law. This is the landmark decision. For example, this is the Marwari versus Madison. This is in our country, Anwar Hussain Chaudhary versus Bangladesh, and 41 the LR Appellate Division 165. And not only that, the Dr. Mohiuddin Farooqi versus Bangladesh. This is the another landmark decision in terms of that. Not only that, this is in emergency situation that the doctrine of necessity is state versus Dasho 1959 maybe, and not only this is the third case in terms of this is the systematic way Danugu versus Stevens. So what exactly the ratio decidendi and the orbital dictum of that very case? This is not being practiced in the whole world, and that's why they're not actually the hour of this the systematic way from the side of law doctor towards the world. This is the systematic way. How can you study the laws? This is the systematic way. So analytical picture in our society or the image is being practiced in the whole world. For example, this is the Marwari versus Madison. Not only that, the Rosina versus Dudley and what exactly this happens. Earlier, I have focused on point of this. So no one is ever and no one is allowed to understand, to comprehend that the situational cases at all. And that's why they are the ignorant in our society. They are taking their processing power from the side of the Dr. Yunus only. They have no power at all to identify which is the best law academy in the world. So this is the lag behind approach from the side of the society. And analytical school talks about the concept of rights. Well, talks about the rights, but what type of rights? This is the legal rights and duties and investigates the legal morals such as acts and contracts. Not only that's the Mohri Bibi versus Tharmodash and 1903. This is the landmark decision in terms of this is the this is the systematic way in terms of the contract from the side of the minor person. Here is the Tharmodash in what exactly the 20,000 pounds rupee are taken from the side of Mohri Bibi. So this is the word of initial aspect from the side of the contract making power. Analytical schools of law believes that law should be codified and the law must be governed by the state with the aim of the benefit of the people. But this is the vague idea. With the benefit, no benefit is being practiced in the whole world. Of course, rural, not only Bangladesh, and the whole world actually practicing. This is the arbitrary power, or the arbitrariness is being practiced in lawmaking power. This is sitting, sitting in the wrapped parliament. This is the lawmakers. They have no power at all to discuss, and they have no power to represent our country to what exactly in the whole world. And that's why we're lagged behind in this situation. And that's why no leader in a country actually, they're not adroit. They are not at home to represent the countries in the world. And they are not allowed to actually, they have no power at all. For example, Nahid, that the service alarm, and not only that, the doctor, of course, there is the slight approaching power from the side of Dr. Yunus. He has a lot, the pretty knowledge to represent our country towards the world. And that's why this is the, trackness is being removed from the side. This is, we're going to actually, trackness. We're going to Jahiliya, nothing else. So this is the aim of the benefit of the people is not being practiced in our country. And that's why this is the nations who are lagged behind at all. And then historical school. Now the trend in terms of the historical schools of jurisprudence. Okay, the historical school believes that law is the consequence of years of growth in our society. The historical schools believes that the sources of law are customs, and earlier I have mentioned in this regard that the customs and the religious philosophies and societal rules. Historical school is too much defended in the first, and as whether it becomes much more conservative, but still after such conservatism, the historical school states that law must change with the people. But unfortunately, Matubbar, in our country, not only in the country, in the marginal area or in our village, several Matubbars are practicing arbitrarily. This is the law, this is the historical approach from the side of the Bibortanbad in terms of the what exactly the thematic approach in terms of this is the Bibortanbad. This is not being practiced at all. And that's why this is the systematic way, and that is not being practiced at all. So, in the language, according to Mr. Humayun Azad, সব কিছু নষ্টদের অধিকারে যাবে. All are going, yes, towards the spoiled person in our society. Or the that the loser or the characterless person, all are going towards the characterless person. And not only that, this is the realist school. Now it is the trend from the side of the realist school. What is actually the realist theory? Oh my God, what is the realist theory? We have no knowledge at all to discuss in terms of. Said Ali Hassan Shagor is watching this video. Oh my God, Shagor Sharkar is watching this video. Where from, Mr.? And how far you actually, our administration of justice is Christ and part to learn. So Nusrat Sharmin, salam. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And MD Tazul Islam is watching this video. MD Riazuddin, and not only that, Anjuman Anju. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the main in terms of the realist school, how can actually we discuss in terms of the realist school? First of all, we have to focus in terms of that. What is reality? What do you mean by reality? Reality means a true sense which exists in life. No one is actually allowed to deny that of realist schools of jurisprudence at all. So realist school is technically not a school of jurisprudence. Of course, this is not technically the school of jurisprudence. Why? The reason behind this, there is no approach in terms of the real picture, what the reality is being practiced in the whole world. This is the rather realist school is what exactly the tutoring of thoughts. How to tutor, how to teach the thought level and the CPU, central processing of the human being. This is being practiced. And in a realist school, there are much more focus on the actions of the core and what the creates. A realist school merely does logical assumptions from the general law. For example, like the paradox and antithesis from the side of the Mr. Rubil Rana. So this is the paradox and antithesis. For example, what is peace? How can it is possible? What is peace? No. Oh my God, this is the vague idea in our society. So no one is allowed to approach and stacking this approaching power in terms of the realist school exactly. What the expounders in this regard, we have known that the Rusk found American tourists who prescribe that the advocates are the, what exactly the advocates are the social engineer. Oh my God, advocates of the social engineer? Oh my God, this is the laughing matter, but unfortunately this is the way and face in tackling this the approaching and the matter in terms of the paradox and antithesis, nothing else. So now I would like to discuss in terms of the sociological school. What is the social and Matubbar is practicing power in the village systematic way. In our village, although Muraripur will prescribe in this regard that the sociological schools, they're practicing arbitrary power. They have no power at all, but they are practicing this sociological aspect. This is the Matubbar and what the village criminality is found. It's Alim, oh my God, Reza is watching this video. And every person is watching this video. Oh my God, this is the powerful, and who practicing from the side of Dr. Salimullah, who is practicing power in terms of the Michel Foucault. This is the Michel Foucault, and Laka Sahib will be practicing from the side of Dr. Salimullah. We'll discuss in terms of this is the what exactly the Bangla Academy winner, what exactly the prize winner in 2024. Oh my God, whether it's 2024 or 2025, this is somebody is standing at what exactly the left side, you know, that's the back side of that very situation. This is the real scenario in our country. No one is allowed, and those who are the scholars in terms of the knowledge, they are ignored in our society. But those who have no knowledge at all, they are staying in the apex of the world exposition. Oh my God. So now the training made in terms of the sociological skills, the sociological skill concentrated more on the function of law rather than its intangible content. The sociological skill came into existence due to the accumulation of various thoughts of jurists. What exactly the various thoughts of jurists? For example, Lotharing, from the side of the Lotharing, you know, this is State versus Dausho, and in our country, this is the famous case law, this Italian marble wax limited. And not only that, in terms of the what exactly lifetime imprisonment for life, the Ataur Mrida Ilyas versus Strait. This is the landmark in 2021. This is the what exactly the 73 DLR. Oh my God, this is the intangible content in terms of sociological issue came into existence due to the accumulation of various thoughts of the jurists. So what the jurists actually, we have no concept at all. In living jurists in our country, Mr. Shahriar's Parvez from the side of University of Russia, law department. He's a living jurist in our country, but no one is, but unfortunately, this is the made of shampoo, the whole nation, they have no power to identify with the jurist in law, and they have no knowledge at all. According to Mr. Shahriar Parvez, we have, we have knowledge in law, but we have no knowledge of law. So this is the thematic approach from the side of Mr. Shahriar Parvez, and this is the thematic approach of various thoughts of jurisprudence is being practiced in terms of the sociological schools of jurisprudence. So this is the systematic way. So now the systematic way in terms of the sociological school, when the connect, of course, into relate, they connect something. For example, how can it is the connecting system like this, the connecting system? Oh my God, how can you, I will show this is the what you can sign the connection. Oh my God. Connect the law society, and the law can be adjusted according to the needs of the sociological school, and what exactly the needs of the society. So this is the connection or interrelation. What needs of the society into the situation. Sociological school talks about the legal institution, the doctrines, and the theoretical aspect of the law. So what are the doctrines actually? I don't know in this regard. But most of the students in our society, most of the professors of law, they have no knowledge in, of course they have knowledge in law, but they have no knowledge of law. So there is a distinction between in and of appropriate preposition in this regard, or the general preposition in this regard, according to Mr. Shahriar Parvez from the side of the University of Russia, the genius law teacher in our society. So the legal institution prescribes this is the bar and pants, bar council, and not only that, the doctrines, so doctrine of legitimate expectation. So what exactly the doctrine of legitimate expectation? We have no power at all to discuss in this regard. So we are, what exactly that we are answering to be an advocate in future life. We have no power at all to how to identify the doctrine of judicial review, which will be emerged from the side of Marbury versus Marriage in 1803. This is the U.S. landmark decision in terms of the what is midnight summers judge appointment. Oh my God, 1803. Oh my God, we have no power at all to the doctrines. So the doctrine of legitimate expectation, doctrine of judicial review, doctrine of basic structure. For example, this is the thematic approach which will be upheld from the side of, this is the Keshavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. This is the landmark decision in this regard. This is the doctrine of basic structure will be discussed in that very case law. This is the Indian case law. So the doctrine, several doctrines, doctrine of election, doctrine of performance, and doctrine of judicial review, doctrine of separation of power from the side of the Secretary Minister of Finance versus Mazdar Hussain and others. So those are the leading cases in terms of the doctrines. So several doctrines should be maintained and should be understood, should be comprehended by the students, and by not only that, the students actually, those should be comprehended from the side of the students, that the law professors, not only that the practicing advocates, not only that the justices, and not only that the judges or the magistrates, and not only that the Chief Justice, howsoever. You must have knowledge in terms of the several doctrines in the world which will be practicing and which will be practicing day by day. But unfortunately, when going to doctrines, we have no knowledge at all, and we are going to I am a Jahila again. So this is not being practiced at all. And the famous jurist in what exactly the jurisprudence, totally the systematic, the synopsing made in terms of what exactly the synopsing power. Now I would like to actually synopsize this systematic way. What exactly the analytical is called, what analytic main proposed in this regard, this is the law as it is, not ought to be. And the punishment like this, the punishment is the sanction such as fine, penalty, a loss of property, assist against a person who has violated the law. And who are the expounders or the proponents of that very school? You know very well that Sir John Austin, Bantam will mark by, and not only that Professor Holland are the main expounders of that very school. And not only that, after historical schools of law, this is the synopsing power from the side of law doctor to you. History and tradition, customs, habits, and religions are the main components of that very school to understand, to comprehend that. This is the historical school. Savigny, not only that the Montesquieu, Sir Henry Man, Sir Henry Pusta, those are the expounders of that very school. And not only that the philosophical school, to sum up this situation, the philosophical school prescribes that the which is just, fair and reasonable, and which is just, fair and reasonable, free will of the people, and ethical and moral aspect. But unfortunately in our country, this is the Ainagor is being built in our country, and the Havabun is being built in our country day by day. This is not being practiced, and this is not the free will of the people, and that is not just and fair and reasonable. Unfortunately, ethical and moral aspect will not be practiced in our country. Howsoever, you are the Chief Justice, and you are the chief advisors of our country. You are not allowed, and you are not practicing in such way which is just and fair and reasonable and free will of the people. And not only being, this is the ethical and moral aspect will not be practiced in our country at all. And not only in our country, in the whole world, they are not practicing at all. They are practicing arbitrary power, sitting in the wrapped parliament. Oh my God. So to sum up this, the sociological schools we have to discuss in terms of this is the religion, the main component of religion, and not only this is the customs, manners, and not only that the commerce, you know, what exactly the squares, you know, this is the products, and the Boshundhara, you know, this is the products, they are the commerce, and not only the how can we are actually practicing manners in our society, and how can actually the appium, like this, the religion, according to Mr. William Shakespeare, you know, this is the what darkness. Yes, he is starting in tracking darkness, but what exactly the out of darkness, and he entering to darkness, but what exactly is coming from this situation? The light. So light is being practiced, lightness or the light made, and religion, customs, and the manners, customers, and occupation of the society. Where we are, who are the judges, and who is the what exactly the farmers in our country, with the shopkeepers, the occupation, what exactly the nurse, what the doctors, and not only that. So this is being practiced in that very sociological schools of jurisprudence. Who are the expounders, exactly the proponents of that very schools like this, the Rudolf von Jennings, Montesquieu, oh my God, and Auguste Comte, Ehrlich, and Leon Digit. And not only that, who prescribe in terms of this is the systematic way in terms of Rascopon too, oh my God, who prescribe that's the advocates are the social engineers in our country. And not only that, advocates are the social engineers in the whole world. So this is the realistic school prescribe in this regard. This is Holmes, Justice Holmes. You all know, you have heard the name of Justice Holmes, and not only that, John Gray and Jeremy Franks, Lil Wayne, and those are the proponents of that very school. So what exactly the thematic approach of the thinking of the judges? Yes, you know, of all this to study, to sum up this situation in this regard, the judges are not allowed to make the laws, they just declare the law. Whether yes or not, of course, this is the online dunya. You are not allowed to deny that. Oh my God. And to sum up this economic school, said the name of the Dr. Yunus, he is the proponent of the 3 zeros. Oh my God, 1 0 is given to you, 2 0 is given to you, and the 3 zeros are given to you. Oh my God. This is the Karl Marx, and to what extent the disciple of in this regard, the angles. Karl Marx prescribed in tracking the rich man, and what exactly the marginal area, who the people in the marginal area, or the poor, or the poor family and the poor class of that very society. And today's number, the economic status of the state is very much poor, and the condition of the people is very much poor. Today's number, do you see next? Bye-bye.